gotta put the Slayer thing in the shot. That's what we're gonna do. I thought I was gonna have the USA Custom out tonight, but battery is dead. Oh, it's late. My wife reminded me that I didn't do my weekend live, probably because I've been live too many times in the last couple of days. So I doubt my count will be any good tonight. But you know what? I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. So I doubt my count. I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. I had the USA Custom out, and I own two of them, but I haven't changed the battery in a long, long time, and I don't feel like doing a battery search or anything because the new guitars, the backs are magnetic, you know. And what I'm talking about is right there is a back plate, okay. And when you have active pickups, that's this part right there. You have to have a battery. It's a 9-volt, whatever. And I have yet to change the batteries in that guitar since I've owned it, and probably need to open that thing up soon, just in case the battery. Hopefully the battery didn't leak, or else I've kind of screwed things up. So we've got the Son of Beast here. Also ABC Rich. Those of you who are not guitar aficionados. But we'll talk trucking. We'll talk whatever you guys want to talk about. I do not take requests because I'm not a very good guitar player, but it doesn't stop me from going live in front of dozens upon dozens of people and make a fool of myself. I think I would have tuned this before, but you know, every weekend I do the same thing, right? So going to bed, John. It's Saturday night, man. Come on. John, before you go to bed, here's what you need to do. You need to search Flotsam and Jetsam. Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. They did a thrash version of the Elton John song, and you will like it. So, we'll get some more people in. We got 18 people in here. I appreciate all 19 of you. If we get up to 20 and get some thumbs up, that would be swell. You guys want a guitar lesson? Give me a thumbs up if you want a little tiny technique lesson. Yeah. No Stairway. I'm not playing Stairway. All right. And we will get into the comments here in a second. But okay, so your little lesson, Kevin, if you're watching, Pigtail, if you're watching, you want to develop dexterity with all four of your fingers. Here's a good exercise. Ready? Start with the first fret, right there. Start with the first string. What you want to do is you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Go down the string. And then pull off. And when you complete that, go all 6 strings. I'm doing like a little, doing a condensed version. Go up a fret. It's boring. See? And what this teaches, dexterity in your left hand, And then coordinate this hand, the picking hand, the one hand that everybody forgets about. By the way, I'm using Tortex orange. I forget what grade these are. I don't have my glasses on to see. What millimeter does that say? Can't read it. But it's the orange ones. Okay. And then that's another exercise. Do a. You could do that one, or you could do, and then do the second and third finger. This one's a challenge for me because of my hand injury I had a while ago. This will develop strength in your hand. So, Scott, what's going on? All right, let's do some shout outs to the awesome people that decided to be here on a boring, probably cold, but not as cold Saturday night. I'm hoping if you're in your trucks, you're warm, you're making money. I hope that your company's not being morons. And I hope that people are treating you good. So we shall be probably back on the road Monday or Tuesday, depending on what's going on with the other house. So that's what's going on. There's money to be made. I got to make it. So, and I'll give an update about the house and all that stuff. And the truck. The truck's got a situation going on too. All right. So we've got Daniel Adami, Overtax, Minnesota. Rick. Ervaquero, TJ Jones, Big Houston. Pale Rider TV. Did you guys catch Pale Rider's live feed Thursday night where he and I jammed? We had a jam session. You know, he was singing, I was playing. Did you guys catch that? I hope you did. Al Capone is in the house. Just watching and listening to Jeff Tate. Man, that guy can sing. Overtax in Minnesota. Here's the deal with Jeff Tate. Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche is one of the best albums out there ever. I turn that thing on and I'm singing. I'm trying to sing with Jeff Tate. You know, I'm trying to like Operation Mindcrime. You know, I'm doing all the harmonies and stuff as much as I possibly weekly can. Right. I like the album after that. What was that? Empire. It's okay. The song Empire is cool. And then Promised Land's got a couple of good moments. But they kind of went to crap after that. I saw them live with Iron Maiden and Halford. It wasn't Judas Priest, but it was Halford. And Queensryche played a couple older songs and you couldn't even recognize it. I mean, the only two members left of that awesome era of Operation Mindcrime were the drummer and Jeff Tate. And then so later on, the Operation Mindcrime 2, absolute crap. That CD was given to me and I gave it away. That's how badly that album was. And then that doesn't even make sense. That's how bad that album was. And then they come out with a newer album with this new singer because they got in this whole lawsuit thing. And the new singer is actually better or just as good as Jeff Tate. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Let's see here. Air Vaquero, I think I've already said hey. Big Houston, Acceleration Rules, Snowblind. You got a question up there, I think. $17,000 taxes or Texas electric bill. That will be interesting. Yes, that's gonna. Texas is a mess, guys. I don't know if you've noticed, but Texas is a mess. Anybody's watching Ponzi Zombie Killer on his live feeds on Facebook, you will see some interesting things. Snowblind, what's up? Pigtail, Citadel Studios, how's it going? What's up, Solar? Play that funky music, white boy, LOL. Jeremy Rice, thank you. My dog has fleas. I'm sorry, little Viking coach. Scales, yuck for truck and guitar. Let's see. Scott is in the house. Clyde Garland, Pale Rider TV. I think I already said hey. We're talking. And Yukon says facts. What part is the facts? I don't know how long you're in here. Camel Jockey, replay material. Queensryche is sick. Halford is what Judas Priest wish they could be. It was interesting because when I saw Halford, it was like watching a Judas Priest cover band, and it was sounded good. I mean, they played a couple originals from what was it, Resurrection or whatever. But Queensryche was absolutely horrible. I couldn't believe it. They played "The Lady Wore Black." I think it's that song, and you couldn't even tell. And then they played "Eyes of a Stranger." It's like, oh, okay, but it was horrible. You couldn't recognize the old stuff at all. That's pretty sad when you're playing your old stuff and you can't even tell, right? So, Take Hold of the Flame. Yeah, that's a great song, and they butchered it when I saw them. They butchered it. It was crazy. It was crazy. Wind turbines are useless in an ice storm. That is absolutely true. Ever hear Halford singing with Black Sabbath? Yes, there's that one-off show that they did, um, where Dio didn't want to be part of it or something because of Ozzy, or you know, little boy crap, whatever. But yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that's really good, and supposedly Tony Iommi and him are supposed to team up. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. And of course, Pale Rider needs to put in his anti ACDC sentiment. Even though he would make a great ACDC cover band singer, I think that Pale Rider could easily sing like can you guys see Pale Rider playing like singing like Back in Black, you know, Angry Trucker Mode? I think that'd be awesome. Tony Martin gets zero credit for his awesome work in Sabbath. That's the thing. Tony Iommi, I think there's a meme around there, interview where he said, "I am Black Sabbath. Doesn't matter who's singing, doesn't matter who's playing drums. I am Black Sabbath." That's what he said. And I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Black Sabbath. Okay, and we'll talk trucking if you want to, but we'll do some music as well. The problem that I find, the difference that, okay, so the newest Black Sabbath album, 13 or whatever, I bought it with points at the Pilot. Okay, I bought it on CD with points at the Pilot, and that "God Is Dead" song, I hate that song. I counted one time. Ozzy says "God is dead" like 18 times. I think it's either 16 or 18 times. Absolute incredible trash. And so when you listen to early Sabbath, I'm talking like the first few albums, it was like a blues jam band kind of thing. Okay, that's kind of what it was. And then as Sabbath, then with Dio, it was a little bit more refined, but it was still good, right? But then when the '80s happened, they were trying to keep up with that, and they had all these lineup changes. At that point, it's all about money, and and so when they finally did the reunion, when they finally did that reunion, there was like a double live album reunion. It sounded good. It was all the old members, right? It was awesome. However, when they finally decide to do this reunion and do that last album called 13 or whatever, and of course, the drummer wasn't a part of that. There was no jam feel. It felt like a bad Ozzy album, is what it kind of sounded like to me. Now, you Sabbath worshippers might be like flipping me off and giving me a thumbs down or whatever, and I don't care, because I hate it when a band will drag their name through the mud just to make a buck because they're broke. And that's my opinion, right? And so, the, kind of like everybody wants Led Zeppelin to do a reunion. They're never going to do a reunion because they know that that's what it would sound like. Put a modern twist on Led Zeppelin. You can't do that. You know, um, and Robert Plant has no interest in doing that. And so that jam session feel was gone from that album, and I think that's why that 13 falls flat on its face. So, ACDC is so loud, ears ring for days. Yes, they are one of the loudest bands out there. Dennis Richards, Richardville. Damn, I almost missed this. Why didn't I get a notification? Because YouTube's dumb. That's why you didn't get a notification. Yep, Yukon agrees with me. I would never share the stage with a grown man that wears a schoolboy outfit. Oh, that's funny. Sabotage, Teth Alexi are underrated. I agree. Let's see. Old fat white guy, what's up? Black Sabbath's God is Dead reminds me of Metallica's The View, and anyone who's heard that song remembers how bad that was. Right? Robert Plant said he couldn't do it if he wanted to. Right? Because look, vocal cords change. I can't do the death growly stuff anymore because I don't do it enough, and it's like kind of like a muscle. If you don't use it, it kind of goes away. And so I couldn't do the death vocal stuff if I wanted to. And then when I look back at our older stuff, like 20-year-old apnea stuff, I can't. There's certain higher notes that I can't sing. I used to be able to sing falsetto, but I can't do that anymore. Not that I ever did that in the band, but I could sing along with some King Diamond or whatever. Or some Queensryche. But for the most part, vocal cords change, and Robert Plant knows that it would sound like trash if he did it. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. Rob Halford can still hit a lot of good notes. Bruce Dickinson. Bruce Dickinson sounded better live for the tour of Book of Souls than he does on the album Book of Souls, which he sounds okay. He was fighting throat cancer when he did that album. But the live version of Book of Souls, that is absolutely incredible. Bruce and then he flies a 747 around and pretty much does. I mean, there isn't a better band than Iron Maiden. There just isn't. There just isn't. Ozzy can still sing in his old age. Most older guys can't sing anymore. Camel, I think there's a lot of processing on his vocals. I mean, I've heard some of the when they're doing the reunion tour, I saw some stuff on YouTube, and it was just he's off pitch, man. He has to be layered. If you listen to the studio albums, he has to be layered. He's layering himself. There's like actually 3 or 4 Ozzies that you're hearing on the microphone. Daily Ross sounds horrible now. I agree. If you grow up in England, you would know why he's wearing the schoolboy outfit. I thought they were from Australia. Next Gen, what's up? Daniel Adame, hey, look at that new logo that Chucky has. Cool looking logo, Chucky. Well, I can't click on it right now. I guess that you were a part of that, Daniel. Deep Purple keeps soldering on despite John Lord. Let me read that here. Deep Purple keeps soldering on despite John Lord having passed and Richie Blackmore being out of the band for nearly 30 years. Unfortunately, Ian Gillan doesn't sing anywhere near as good as years past. Play EAD, please. You don't have to sing it. Okay, we can do that. That's an easy song. I can teach you how to do it. Ready? Just for you, Dennis. EAD. That's all it is. You too can play EAD. That's EAD. That's all it is. That's it. It's a different tuning. This is 6 string. That was done on a 7 string. Toter the Latori of Queensryche looks like a cancer patient now. Who's the guitar player? You can't help me out. Who's the guitar player of on Operation Mindcrime? What's his name? That's gonna bug me. I'm hanging in my guitar vault as we speak. I would love a video of that guitar vault, by the way. No, I don't know any saxon. Okay. Who's the guitar player? Okay. Guitar player, Operation Mindcrime, Queensryche. Is it Chris DeGarmo? Yeah, Chris DeGarmo. He was really good. He was kind of underrated back in the day. Here's a Mary Manilow. That's all I know. Barry Manilow. Candlemass. We did a Candlemass cover. Pale Rider did a video with the Candlemass cover that we used to do. That's a Candlemass riff. Tony Iommi is the only guitar player. That's not true. Plumber comes by today and fixed all the busted pipes. Had 4 leaking. All right, so let me tell you about what happened. So it got up to about 32 degrees yesterday. I go out to the other house. Turn on the water. Nothing. Well, actually, it runs for a little bit, and then it slows down and then stops. I can't hear any water. I can't see any water. I can't get to any leaks if there are any. So I shut off the water. And then the drain was plugging up. So I think the drain was frozen. Because when I used a plunger in the kitchen sink, water came out. You know, like your washing machine, it goes into a tube, it drains into a tube. That tube, it was spurting out water. And that is on the north wall, which is, your problem wall when it comes to bad weather. So I had the city shut off the water, and we're not paying a weekend rate. Nobody lives there, so we're just kind of wait and see. We'll go and check it out tomorrow to see if it'll drain, because my suspicion that the drains have frozen, and because it just wasn't warm enough for long enough. Today it got up to about 48 degrees. The other thing I was worried about was my APU. So my APU ran for 3 days straight. Yesterday I was messing around. I come home, the APU's off. I didn't turn it off. So I went into the truck, no faults. APU came right on, and it's been doing the battery monitor. So I don't know why. I don't know if it overheated, but usually it would give a fault. So that's kind of got me worried. But tomorrow is the attempt to start the truck, make sure it's good, because it'll have plenty of time over freezing. Get some of the bad fuel out of there, and then get the truck started. So that's and if I get that truck started, see what's going on with the other house, then we'll probably get back on the road probably Tuesday, because there's something else I got to deal with my mom, and then I've got relatives coming in next week, so I got to make some money between now and then. The rates are really good right now. Volume's really good. You may not get unloaded in a good timely manner, so make sure that you're talking about detention and layovers to these brokers if you're in a self-dispatch spot market situation. All right, Alexander says, hey, Sir, let's settle this here. Who is better of the two, Kirk Hammett or Dave Mustaine? I'm going to say Dave Mustaine, and here's why. Because while I'm more of a Metallica guy than Megadeth, technically, and as far as this hand goes and creativity, Dave Mustaine is better than Kirk Hammett, and here's why. Kirk Hammett uses the crutch called the wah-wah pedal, or the wah pedal. I hate wah pedals. There's only a couple players that can do it right. Now, using it as a little bit of a flavor enhancer here and there, that's fine. But to use it as your sole purpose only tool, I despise that. And I think Kirk's best work was on Injustice for All. That was Kirk Hammett's best work in Metallica. As far as songwriting goes, I think James Hetfield is a better songwriter than Dave Mustaine. So there's that. And then it doesn't help that Dave Mustaine has had drug issues. Now, I have a driver friend whose best friend was a roadie for Dave Mustaine. I think that's kind of cool. But I do have an early cassette that Dave Mustaine is on in Metallica, which is kind of cool. So Gary Holt is better than Kirk or Dave. Citadel is old school. Yes. You know, I love old Exodus. I love new. Look, one of the best thrash comeback albums was Tempo of the Dam by Exodus. Um, that is a thrashing album. That was like that could have been done right after Impact is Imminent, and you couldn't have told. You couldn't have tell, right? Because thrash went through this sellout period where everybody was trying to imitate the Black Album, and and Gary Holt is very talented. I saw him with Slayer last time I saw Slayer, and it was awesome. And I do agree with that statement there, Citadel. I do agree with that. Randy Rhoads or Zach Wilde? Ooh, man, little Viking coach. That depends. Randy Rhoads was more of a classical trained player and had some killer writing. But Zach Wilde is he holds his own. Two completely different styles. It's like trying to compare, Dimebag Darrell to Kirk Hammett. They both they're completely different styles. But I do it like one of my favorite Ozzy songs is Miracle Man. That was totally Zach Wilde. You know. So if you ask Steve Berger, he's going to tell you Zach Wilde. My band covered Wars, My Shepherd, Tempo is a masterpiece. Dude, Citadel, I love that album. Tempo the Damned and Fabulous Disaster are my favorite Exodus albums. Impact is Imminent is good too. Force of Habit, throw that out the window. The first album, Bonded by Blood, that's all right. And Pleasures of the Flesh is pretty cool, but Fabulous Disaster was just like it's just pounding, right? The golden age of thrash. That was the thing with that. So, and Exodus should be included. Look, Kirk Hammett used to be in Exodus, and he's actually on the latest Exodus album. He plays a guest solo. What does he use? He uses that stupid wah-wah pedal. Exodus should have been the openers for the Big Four. I mean, should have been part of that Big Four. Of course, it would have been hard on Gary Holt, but Exodus is right up. Look, you got your second generation thrash like Testament, Death Angel, Forbidden. You kind of throw Suicidal Tendencies in there. Violence, which features Rob Flynn of Machine Head. Rob Flynn hates it when you go to a Machine Head concert, and you give him a Violence album to sign because he hates his roots. I've never seen an metalhead in my life more than Rob Flynn. Michael Dallas stuck on Buckethead. I have never heard a Buckethead song all the way through. Zach plays multiple instruments and can sing. Yes, and I believe Randy Rhoads was able to do that as well. It just depends. I mean, it depends on the sound that you like. Zach was definitely a better modern tool for Ozzy, and that's look, that's the thing with Ozzy is Sharon and Ozzy treat their musicians like tools. That's it. It's what can we make with these guys. There's no. I think the death of Randy Rhoads kind of killed the whole. We've got a band. We're cool. Look what they did with the drum and bass player. They re-recorded classic albums so they wouldn't have to give them rights to those old classic albums, which after Ozzy did that, I lost interest in him, to be honest with you. So notice how many chicks play guitar and drums now? Yes. There was a time in Springfield, Missouri, where I was in a band where he had one of the first death metal female drummers, especially in the area, but it was kind of a rarity. Still is. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of death metal chick drummers. You do, like Amy Kim on YouTube is really good. There's that one chick that plays a lot of Tool. I forget her name. Who's also on YouTube, but Here's a big four list: American '80s thrash bands: Slayer, Exodus, Nuclear Assault, Agent Steel. There you go. Favorite Sabotage album: Alexander. Oh man. What's okay? I'm gonna have to refresh my memory. Sabotage band. Um, I've got my other phone, Google here. That's what I'm doing here. Probably Gutter Ballet. Um, and believe it or not, I actually like Edge of Thorns and Handful of Rain. I got to see Sabotage when they were touring for Streets, a rock opera, and it was awesome. It was before Chris Olivia passed away. It was really good. Um, I have not heard anything beyond that. I haven't listened to, of course, I know that um, Trans Siberian Orchestra came from one of the songs off of, the album about the Bosnian War, Dead Winter Dead, I think. Um, but that's a good question. But I do like the newer Sabotage stuff. Handful of Rain is actually pretty good. Soothsayer is an excellent start. Notice how many. Okay, I already read that. Ever heard of an anti-metalhead? His name was Gary Moore. Yep. Chick bass player's bolt thrower. My wife was an excellent bass player for apnea. Do you think that Darcy from Smashing Pumpkins is a good bass player? I have no idea. Michael Dow. I do not listen to them. They have one good song, and it's tolerable at best. Um, Chicks and Metal is why we need to repeal the 19th Amendment. Dave. My Fender don't need no stinking pedals. I loaded with bullets, baby. Right? Um, there's a all Iron Maiden chick cover band called Iron Maidens. That's really good. It features I can't remember her name. I'm escaping names right now. I follow her on Instagram. She plays for Alice Cooper. And then speaking of you guys remember an old thrash band called Blood Feast? Like the bass player follows me on Instagram. That's kind of weird. And Flotsam and Jetsam follows me on Twitter, even though I don't tweet anything. I got to meet all those guys. Flotsam and Jetsam is one of the best thrash bands ever, and I'll fight you on that one. Of course, you can't forget the old Crowbar, right? I ordered 2 Crowbar albums. I spent money instead of made money, and I ordered the new. I ordered 2 albums by Crowbar. What's the deal with the Sulk Man? Is Apnea dead? Yes, Apnea is dead. So we'll go over the history. We'll go over the history of that. So at one point, the wife and I, at the towards the end of Apnea and the last album, you got me on guitar and vocals, my wife on bass and doing some vocals, and you had our drummer Jake Norman on drums, who's a phenomenal drummer. And our other guitar player, we call him Walmart Rob because he works at Walmart. But his name was Rob Close. He still is. I mean, he still is Rob Close. He didn't die or nothing. And I was kidding. I wasn't enjoying live gigs anymore, and there was some personal stuff going on. So the wife and I decided to end it with the band. And the guy that used to play drums for a band called Coventry Sacrifice, he and I would talk about Crowbar. We're big doom metal fans, and I told him I wanted to do an all doom metal project. Just slow stuff, all singing, no growly stuff. And And so I talked to him, and I talked to the guy that used to play guitar with us in Apnea, Willie Warlaw, who's in a ton of projects. Um, and we finally, that's what formed Sulk. Now, we could play Apnea if we wanted to, because our drummer of Sulk is that good. He could play, but he made it very clear he didn't want to be Apnea's replacement. He didn't want to be Jake's replacement. But he very well could do it. But when you're reaching 50 years old, and we all got lives and responsibilities, there's a lot to be angry about, but it's more of it's not rage. And so I don't think I could write a good death metal song if I wanted to right now. And now Sulk hasn't done anything in over 2 years, and that's because we started to write some songs. We were having fun, but then life catches up. Our drummer has a special needs kid. I had to concentrate on my business. The wife had some stuff going on. We all had something going on. Willie's got his other projects. So, and just when, right before I remember I was at the Joplin Petra. I called our drummer and said, "Hey, do we still have a band?" He's like, "Yeah, absolutely." I'm like, "All right, let's start rehearsing." Then COVID hit. And because of the special needs son, they didn't want to take any risk. And so we haven't asked the guys to come over to jam. And so we just haven't done it. So we officially haven't broken up, but we'd have to start from scratch, because there's some very raw recordings of the Sulk stuff that we probably don't even remember how to play. So, and I think that we could write better. So, Nita Strauss, yes. Wilbine Coach, thank you. How about Vivian Slaughter from Gallhammer? She is a great bass player. We'll take your word for it. Should have been down in Dallas. Death metal writing would be easy. Look, I think that I played the same kind of music for 20 years. Like everybody gets on the Metallic for not being able to write Master of Puppets again. They don't need to. I mean, they're not as angry anymore. I could. Fun to play, but I don't know. I'm more in this speed right here, this crowbar speed. That's kind of where I'm at now. So, Sergeant Ringo, what's up? And one of the best parts about being in a death metal band is being the vocalist, and not being able to do the vocals is, I don't know, that would kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. Whereas Sulk, I could still sing. I could still hit a note. I could still sing. And that's kind of the direction I want to be. Had heavy metal gotten too heavy and diversified to experience any new innovation? Yes. I think the big thing now is retro. You got bands like Gate Creeper and Necrot that have that old 90s Sunlight Studios death metal sound. You got these old school sounding thrash bands like Warbringer that are like young kids, and that sound like they literally came out of 1988, and then you got the ADHD bands that I call them, where they'll like put like 68 riffs in like 5 minutes, and nothing repeats, nothing. There's no song structure. It's just like, here's 40 minutes of our collection of riffs kind of albums. And they try to cram so many styles into one song. Like, there'll be songs that go from death metal to jazz to ska to punk, all within like like 5 minutes, so you're like all over the place, and there's no shock value. You can't shock. You can't shock people anymore. You go to the Milwaukee Metal Fest back in the mid 90s, every gruesome album cover, every gruesome band name has been taken. There's no shock value anymore. You can't, if you came out with an album like Cannibal Corpse and the lyrics that they put out back in 1972, they would have been banned. But now that's like par for the course. There's no shock value anymore. So that makes it hard too. And then, the equipment is easy to get into. The production's easy to get into. You can literally go to Guitar Center, buy one of these guitars for, $300 or $400, buy the right computer program, record something on your computer, guitar, bass, drums, and everything. I've got a recorder that will play bass with this. I know how to play bass. I wouldn't need that, but still. And then put it out on iTunes the same day. So there's a lot of things that are lost because of that. It's hard to stand out because of that. So we stay rolling. That's funny. It sounds like VH1 Worthy now. Having ribeye and eggs for dinner. Other than that, not much else going on in my neck of the woods. Good deal, Ringo. Good deal. Now, Dave, the best soundtrack for Rolling Through Dallas is Amon Amarth. I like the more slow, just I'm going to type in the chat the two best bands that I like right now. These are two bands that you need to check out. And this is kind of what's affected Sulk a little bit, because these two bands came out and are doing exactly what I want to sound like, but they've already done it. So it's kind of hard to come up with the song that I like that I've written. One is Chemist and the other one is Alcest. Check out those two bands. That's kind of the vibe I'm playing with here. That's kind of the vibe. Oh, and by the way, Chemist does a really good version of Rainbow in the Dark. Is it Rainbow in the Dark? Yeah. Man, my memory sucks tonight. Let me make sure. Yeah, Rainbow in the Dark. Okay, I thought I had that right. Yeah, check that out. It'll be awesome. Blackberry Smoke and Social Distortion. There's a person I follow on Facebook who's been putting out these really cool, like, one-man band jams. Say that 5 times fast. And he's using a looping pedal. I want a looping pedal, where basically you play like, and then like put that through the pedal to play that, and then he could lead under it and put a harmonized. It's a great way to play with yourself. think I would do really good and be really creative with that. So I'd be really creative playing with myself with that pedal. Dave, I know you catch that. Anyways, is there any other comments, questions? We're at 46 minutes. You know that we like to keep this about an hour. We're not James Best. Rider's favorite song. Now, those of you who watch Pale Rider live Friday nights, he always begins the video with a song called Sulk Part 2. Let's see. Watch Dominic Fragman, one man band, do Tom Sawyer by Rush. He does other bands too. Tom Sawyer, there was a local band that was able to play that Tom Sawyer, and the bass player did all the keys and everything, just like Geddy Lee. One of the best multi-instruments I ever saw was Steve DiGiorgio. I watched him play a 6-string bass, fretless bass, playing keyboards, smoking a doobie, and doing vocals all at the same time. I witnessed this as close as I am to this phone at the Milwaukee Metal Fest on the small stage. You can't get much more talented than Steve DiGiorgio. Can you play Freebird? Nope. Do you know any bats or chickens you can bite the heads off of? No, but we got bat inlays. So we got that. So Jeremy Rice, I can't even see where you're coming from. No, but I did see him snorting dance. That's better than someone else's hearing. You guys are weird. Ringo, who's that? Who's that? Who's close to the crew? Now, those you old YouTubers know Eskimo Sean. He retired from trucking except to do entertainment trucking, and he's done some pretty famous bands. Any thoughts about re-releasing any of Apnea's back catalog? Citadel, there's hardly any demand for physical music. So I don't see myself putting the expense of doing that. I think that eventually I want to, put it on Spotify and iTunes. Right now it's on Bandcamp. I will put up a link in the deal here. Let's see. And you can sample the songs for free, but if you want to buy them digitally, I would greatly appreciate it. I don't know that he'd want me to say who it is. At least close to Nikki Six. It wouldn't surprise me because I think Chuck Billy from Testament, he's actually a dispatcher at a trucking company. A couple of the old school thrash guys are. You guys remember that band Atrophy, out of Phoenix? I think a couple of those guys went on to be doctors. Um, it's kind of amazing to hear what's happened to a lot of these old school truckers. But as far as releasing on physical CDs, I still have physical CDs from what we didn't sell last time. The music landscape has really changed. If you want to go physical, people want to buy vinyl, and I don't see myself. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to put some of Apnea stuff on vinyl, but we've got such a kind of a big catalog. It'd be kind of hard to put that all on vinyl efficiently. Um, and I would hate to choose just one album to put on vinyl. If I had to do it, though, it'd probably be the newest one, The Great Ruiner. Last I heard, Rob Dukes was working at a VW shop in Arizona. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I remember when Lars Ulrich was they were putting out a second new wave of British heavy metal. He was like calling these guys at their jobs, the bands that influenced them, that they've made millions of dollars playing their covers. These guys are working 9 to 5 regular Joe jobs. And a lot of people don't realize a lot of these underground, and face it, if you're not Metallica or Cannibal Corpse, you're underground, right? Or Slayer. And a lot of these guys have to have normal jobs. They can only tour, when they take a month off, or a lot of them have to, like in my position, I had to have dead end jobs that were flexible because I couldn't really pursue a career if I wanted to pursue my music. Um, I'd probably be further along in life had I not done that. But I got some really good memories of playing music and opening up for some great bands that were big influences to me. I think I can sit there and proudly look at Apnea's history and be happy with it, be content. Get rid of the distortion, just play Snowlord live. um Every now and then I'll bust out the acoustic there, Dennis. Um, so I mean, I don't know. Music is still important to me. I've probably spent too much money this month on records, but and I have a massive CD collection. But that's about the only thing I purchase anymore for myself is either food, music, or things related to tools, if you guys know what I mean. I don't want to say it because I don't want, YouTube to go, um, so yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at in life right now. Ryan Toller of Diamond Head said in an interview that he was able to buy a house and tour the U.S. for the first time thanks to Metallica covering the songs on Garage Inc. And look, you guys might give Metallica a lot of crap, but they really give homage to the old bands that they've covered, and they've really stepped up on wanting to help the underground. Now, the whole Napster thing, look, you can be mad at them for the whole Napster thing, but here's the deal: Metallica and Dr. Dre saw the writings on the wall and what was going to be the biggest hit to the music industry ever, and that was illegal downloading. They were ahead of their time. They saw the writings on the wall. And but like they used to allow bootleggers, if you wanted to videotape them, they had a special section. That's how Cliff 'Em All was made. Um, and Kirk Hammett is still pretty active in the underground thrash metal scene there in the Bay Area. Um, you know, he's trying not to lose touch with the metal roots, and I you got to commend people for that. Um, and Diamond Head did actually play in Springfield within the last few years. They played this small little dive bar, and I believe my wife went. I was out. I was on the road. I couldn't make it. So, weren't you looking for a new tool? I've got everything I need, Ringo. I mean, they say that you can always get more, but to be honest, I really can't. There's no need because here's the thing, ammo is in such short supply. It's extremely expensive to be shooting right now that I I really don't want to. Now there's a couple things I'd like to buy, but I really don't need it. So I've bought way too much this year. What is the name song Pale Rider uses as an intro for his live feed? Big Houston. He uses Sulk Part 2. Apnea had two instrumentals. One's called Sulk and one's called Sulk Part 2. Pale Rider, I believe, has used both of them. But the video that he uses for that truck, that T660, that is Sulk Part 2. That's on. That's going to be on the Fragments of the Past on that Bandcamp deal. And that song is great because you don't have to hear me screaming my butt off. So I remember downloading music for free when I first connected the internet in '99 or 2000. Yeah, I was a Napster fiend. You downloaded this special thing where you can get in special rooms, and I would hit all the death metal rooms. Now, with that being said, I used Napster as a tool to get Apnea's music to all the continents. We have CDs in all the continents because of Napster. People would download our stuff. I would only put a few on my hard drive. And then I say, you want more? Order the CD from here. And I would get orders. And then being reviewed in Metal Maniacs magazine, every single album was reviewed in Metal Maniacs. And then we also got orders that way. And then MySpace. You guys remember MySpace? That helped a lot too. And so Napster was a tool. We used it as a tool, kind of like you might use Spotify today. But yeah, I went nuts too. I've got CDRs of just all kinds of stuff, and some of the bands got smart. They put out these demo albums that were like, they'd have a recording in the middle of the song that said, this is a sample, blah, blah, blah. So it would ruin the song for you. So you wouldn't be like, yeah, I got the new album for free. But then at the same time, you could be more selective because how many times have you bought an album and only like 2 songs are good? The rest is just filler. And downloading kind of like made that worse. It's like, if I only like one song off the album, why buy the whole album? I just download the one song. So what's your opinion on the Foo Fighters or what they've done to the rock and roll scene? Paul, that's a good question. We are live, Steve Berger. I was about to have the USA Custom out, but the battery's dead on the pickup, so I need to change that out. Living Color is the best black metal on the planet. Oh man. Paul, back to your question. I do not like the Foo Fighters music. At all. I have not heard a song I like. However, who's the lead singer? Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl is a huge supporter of underground bands and is a metalhead himself. And I respect him for that. In every interview I've heard of him, he seems to be a stand-up guy. So I just don't like Foo Fighters for the music. I think the name's dumb. But I do like Dave Grohl. He's a good dude. I have a few tools I haven't been able to shoot because I refuse to overpay for. I hear you, Rick. When you're paying more than $1 or something, a, you know, a piece for 9mm, it's just, what do you want, cat? Um, it's you gotta use it sparingly. Prices are coming down, but it's the real cheap stuff, right? So, I got all of Apnea songs on my phone. Daniel Adami, yes, you do. I appreciate that, Daniel. Don't blame me, RN. My son is always asking for ammo, go shooting. I have to say no because I know when I'll be able to replenish my stock. Look, I could find it. It's just really expensive. The same box I paid $18 for is now like I've seen as high as $85. That's when I stopped buying at that point. I think 40 is where I stopped. $40 is where I stopped. So yeah, I hear you, Citadel. That's a problem too. Hey, did you just come in here and make noise? Come here. I think the cat just came in here and make noise. Come here. Come here. Be live on YouTube. Come here. He wants to play. He's like a dog. He'll bug me until I play with him. So DOG. Are cats metal? Absolutely. Citadel. Look, you guys want to know the best Twitter account to follow is Black Metal Cats. And what somebody has done is they put pictures of cats just doing cat things, and it has like these black metal, highly, evil satanic ramblings that could have been from, the band Immortal or Emperor or whatever. And it's awesome. It's the best Twitter page out there. But cats are definitely metal. Hey, here. He's being a dweeb. But we are at an hour, guys. If you don't mind, smash, the thumbs up and give me the horns in the chat. Smash the thumbs up. Let's get this video out because it's extremely important to get my videos out. I have no idea what this is. I just found it on the floor. Probably something the cat broke. Come here. Here. Yeah. There's the cat. He is not thrilled. He is pretty affectionate as long as you don't hold him. If you guys follow me on Facebook, there's a pack of those color cats that attack me in Walnut Grove. Just a heads up, stay away from Campbell's in Napoleon, Ohio. That place is a cluster right now. Steve Burger, a lot of food places are going to be like that because everybody ran out of food in Texas. If you can get unloaded in Texas, your freight to Texas is going to be just absolutely amazing. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to mention it again. The load count around Indy on Friday was over 5,000 loads within a 150-mile radius. I've never seen numbers like that ever. And you were getting $4 a mile no matter which direction or how far you were going. So headbang the thumbs up. There you go. But what's up, Burger? Long time no see. How have you been? Burger just put up a video not too long ago. Oh, what are you doing? He's playing with the string. I've got one string I've replaced, and I didn't cut the tip off right there. He's playing with it. You gotta be careful because cats can poke their eyes out with that. So, yeah, I took your only toy. Get over it. But maybe next weekend we will, if I'm home, we'll bust out the USA Custom, right? So I'm good. I'm glad you've been busy, Steve, because busy is good. I have not been busy with the right things. I've been busy with the wrong things. That Niagara and KC is awesome. $6 per mile to go to Texas. Yes, I pick up there all the time, Dave, and I pretty smooth sailing in that place. So, Citadel, do I know you? I don't know. Do you? Are we connected somehow? I have two USA Customs. I have the 7 string and I have the 6 string. So they both need to be kind of tuned up. Catch you on the flip side. Hopefully we'll be back to work Tuesday. So we got to get the truck rolling. There might be a video of me trying to get the truck back rolling, and then we'll book a load and we'll get the hell out of here. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this lovely Saturday night. I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're staying safe. I hope that you're not stuck on the interstate. I think a lot of things have thawed out or starting to thaw out, and I do have the acoustic guitar, but we'll do that next time, maybe. I don't know. And I appreciate every single one of you. If those of you new to my channel, we talk trucking, we can talk guitars, we can talk about anything. I try to give advice when I can. And I've only learned by my mistakes and through watching other people make mistakes, and know that I'm still going to make. I'm pretty humble. I'm pretty truthful. I don't reveal everything, but I'm not, trying to scam you guys either. So, you guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Keep the shiny side up. Keep the tires down. Keep the truck in the forward direction. And be good to each other. Respect each other. The world needs more of that. Peace.